Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another day of Off the Board. Today's inspiration came from my Zentangle board, which is basically like you draw all these crazy lines. I don't even know how to describe Zentangle. Look it up. It's really interesting. Go Google it. And anyway, the one that was on the board that I saw was like a mandala type of drawing, and that led me to pulling out this paper from Paige Evans Wonders, which has a big mandala on it. And so I decided I was going to fussy cut out the mandala portion of it because the paper is just super busy for me. It's not my cup of tea as far as using it as a whole piece, but I thought it had a lot of neat things that we could cut apart from it when I purchased it. The backside of it, I believe, has potted plants all over, which I thought those would be awesome to fussy cut as well. Even though I don't have a lot of potted plants at my house because I kill everything. I do have a lot of outside stuff that my husband takes care of, but not a lot of potted plants. But anyway, that's what it led me to. So I decided to do a little bit of mixed media, and I am using some Shimmers products in Dandelion and in Witch's Blue, and pulling out the oranges and the blue in that mandala paper, which also is in the clothing that my daughter and my son or my grandson are wearing. So I am using some basil paper. It's, I think, Avalanche White, and I just have this paper kind of by a fluke. A friend gave it to me. She asked me to cut some cut files for her, and it's not really the paper that my machine likes to cut on because it kind of shreds it. But I basically traded her some coconut swirl paper, which is what I use for my cut files, and I kept some of the paper that she had given me in exchange, and so I thought I'd just use it for this, and I did not prep it or anything, but it almost acts like it is prepped. I am not working on the side of it that is not textured. It does have a textured side on the opposite side, but I'm working on the non-textured side. And when I say it acts like it is not, or acts like it is gessoed, I say that because I was able to go in and move the inks around even the next day. So you're going to see that here. I kind of finish up the project, and working with the orange and the blue together, they work great together, but when you mix them, you get kind of this weird green color, and you kind of see that in some of the areas as it gets to the edge. And here I go back the next day, and I am kind of just using water to lighten up those greenish brownish areas and to kind of remove some of the hard water lines. And you can see that I'm picking up the ink and it's leaving a white spot, and I'm going back over it. And that's not something you can normally do with a regular old cardstock. So I found that really interesting, and I kind of like it. It did warp the paper kind of a lot more than I prefer, but I was in too much of a hurry to tape it down and let it dry so that it wouldn't warp. So, it is what it is. At the end of the day, it does look nice because I do mount it onto another piece of cardstock that has a navy blue edge so that it will be framed, which that is one of my favorite things to do with papers that are like mixed media or white. I like them framed with a nice dark border. That's not anything new on my channel, so hopefully that makes sense and it's something that you enjoy too, maybe. I don't know. So anyway, I just keep layering up those colors, and I'm, like I said, washing out the hard lines of where the ink had dried the day before. And this is like watercolor ink. It's not like ink as in ink from, I should say it's watercolor paint. It's not ink like from an ink pad or anything like that. So it works well. So you can see the paper down below that I'm going to mount the whole thing on. I bought a whole bunch of that paper. It was on clearance at our local scrapbooking store, and I really just bought it for the blue border all the way around the outside. It's navy blue, and I like it. It's a Heidi Swap paper if that's of any interest to you. But I don't really use the whole paper for anything other than this purpose, at least so far. And I think I bought like 20 sheets of it because they had a bunch of it, like 10 cents a sheet or something to that effect. And navy blue is really hard to find. At least for me. So I did trim off the edges of that paper that I did all of the watercolor on. I had to trim it down a little bit more than I usually do, just because I didn't get a good straight trim on it because it was warped. And now I am just going through the ephemera pack from Paige Evans Wonders, sticking within the same collection. It makes it really easy to put together a layout. And because I'm doing a layout every day this month, that is kind of what I needed, was easy stuff to do. I wanted pins that were a little bit different than scrapbooking pins, so you can see different ways to get inspiration, but I didn't want to make my layouts so hard to make that, it took hours for me to make it, because, if I'm doing one every single day, I just don't have that many hours in the day. So I pull out these pink pieces, which originally I was kind of focusing on the orange and the blue, but then I decided to pull in some pink and some of the navy, and I think it looks really, really good. I really like the way that it came out. And I have these 3 embellishment areas just scattered around the entire page, and you can see there I flipped the entire thing over. I really like how it looks much better with the photos on the left hand side versus the right hand side, because when I kept trying to put that tag at the top when the entire layout was flipped upside down, it made it really close to the tag that's underneath the photos. And I don't know what the logic was behind it, besides that they were just kind of close together, and this worked much better. I think it's because when I did the mixed media, it made everything a little bit lower on the page when I flipped it over. Otherwise, the mixed media, to keep the blue background kind of peeking out from beneath that mandala paper, it all had to be up higher on the page. So this gave a little bit more real estate at the top of the page, so things were not quite so squished together. I am popping the mandala piece up at the top and that tag up onto some foam using just Fun Foam from Walmart. It's adhesive backed, and then I just use my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to stick it down. There are these photo corners that are in the sticker sheet from Wonders, but I don't use them as photo corners. I'm kind of using them as a little bit of a shelf for the photos to kind of overhang off of, and then the other embellishment spots as well. And I like how that's looking. It's a kind of a different use for them. I didn't really think I would use them as photo corners. I wasn't sure how I would use them, but in this case I really like the way that they look. I wanted to remind you to go and check out everyone else who is playing along with Off the Board today. I have videos so far all month long, so if you've missed any of those, you can go back on my channel. But also go check out all of the other wonderful, talented scrapbookers that are playing along, and give them a little bit of love. You'll find all kinds of different pins that are being used. Some are scrapbook related and some are not, so you never know what you're going to get each day. I then pulled in the butterfly and the bird. Oh my goodness, I wanted to call that a flag. My gosh, my brain is a little bit fried as I'm voicing back-to-back videos. But and then a little bug over on the upper right-hand corner, just to give some movement and flight to a couple of areas. And those are popped up onto some dimensional foam tape as well. And then I am going to pull out some sequins and add those to the layout. And let's see here. I'm trying to remember what else I did. I did this layout quite some time ago, so I somehow lost all of the footage I had edited everything and then lost the footage, so I had to redo it. So it took me some time to get this one up on my channel. So that's why it seems like I don't know what I'm doing, because it's been a little while. So I'm just using some sequins. This is a sequin mix that I created myself for my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. So it's got lots of goldish kind of copper, blacks, and some really interesting kind of shapes and designs. There's some black ones in there with gold stripes on it. But those are from my parents' 50th wedding anniversary invitations that had a shaker pocket on the front of the card. So that's where those came from. here are the still shots, obviously. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them down below. I will get back to you as quickly as I can. And again, thank you for choosing my channel to watch today. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys again tomorrow.